All right. Welcome to everyone coming in. Thank you so much for joining us live here for tonight's masterclass. We're going to jumpstart at 7:05. We're just going to give everyone a few minutes to jump in. As you can see, there's a poll. Are you new to Suited for Success? Or no, I have participated in masterclasses, meaning you've been here with me before. Welcome back to all of my returning families. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have one new family. Welcome. And also in the chat, if you would post in the chat in the comments where you're tuning in from, your state, whether it's Maryland, Virginia, California, North Carolina, wherever it is that you're tuning in from, rep your state. That would be great. We always trying to just see where we get different people from, what states they are tuning in from. So again, welcome to the masterclass. We're going to begin at promptly at 7:05. We're just giving everyone a chance to jump in. And in the meantime, there's a poll on the screen. Are you new to Suited for Success? Meaning you've never done a masterclass, college tour, workshop, or any of the above with us. And if you're new, welcome. If you're a returning family, welcome family. Okay, so everyone's tuning in so far from the state of Maryland.
Miss Robinson, I have a quick question.
Yes, Miss
This
Miller.
is Miss Miller. Yeah, Briella's trying to log in on her own. Is it only one login per registration?
Oh, yep, probably.
Okay,
Oh,
got it.
guys, I'm sorry. I didn't even think about that when I set it up. Yeah, so because you have to go in and give your emailing your name at
Mhm.
the beginning, yes, I believe so. I believe that means it limits it,
Okay,
allowing her to come in. Yep.
okay, got it. All right, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay.
Tell her to try, because you know what? I think I'm registered. Possibly this is only a possibility, but I'm
Okay.
going to put my email in the chat to you
Hmm.
directly if I can. No, it's not going to let me directly message you. I thought it would, but it didn't.
Well, it said you can do a private message.
Oh, private message me, then I can reply back to you, I think. Because on my
Okay,
side, it just shows every message, everyone. And
got
I
it.
can give her my email, and then she can see if she can get in under me.
Okay.
It'll be my personal email, so it won't really be me.
Okay, gotcha.
Welcome to everyone. If you're just jumping in, thank you for tuning in to tonight's masterclass. We're going to jumpstart at 7:05. And once we get started, the recording is already in. And so we will be
What are you doing?
starting in a few minutes. Tell her to put in my first and last name and then try this email and see if it'll let her in. And so if you are new joining, thank you so much for tuning in for the first time. And if you are not new and you are a returning family, welcome family. Welcome back again to one of our master classes. And so we're going to jump start at 7:05. I'm going to go ahead and start even sharing my screen for my slides so you can already see that. And we're going to stop the poll. So we are grateful to all of our returning families, of course. So y'all see we learning the whole new the new features with the polls. So if you've been rocking with Ms. Robinson on previous master classes, the poll is a new thing. We trying something new tonight. And so thank you for bearing with me as we test out some new things. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the slideshow up. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump start for tonight's masterclass. Thank you so much you see it's already a timer on this thing. Thank you so much for jumping into 5 mistakes families make in the college admissions process. It's really not mistakes, but it's really, tonight we decided to flip it in from mistakes and give you the strategies, right? So we can make sure you have everything you need so you do not have to make any mistakes in the college process. And so we're going to jump right in and talk about what it is that you need to do to navigate the college process. But I know if you're new to me, Or if you're returning, this is a reminder. You're saying, well, what makes you the expert at sharing this? And so let me tell you, welcome. I'm Regina Robinson. I'm the CEO and founder of Suited for Success College Planning Services, where we have been helping families like yourself successfully win the game of college admissions for over 15 years. We have helped students gain over $25 million in scholarships and grants, and the number continues to rise. We've kind of only been counting the last 7 years, and so we know it's way over that if we would have went back and been counting before. I am a graduate of Bowie State University. Go Bulldogs. So if we have any Bulldogs in the building, hey, for my undergrad degree, and I'm a graduate of Georgetown University for my master's degree. And so if we have any Hoyers in the building, welcome Hoyers as well. And any other colleges and HBCUs and non-HBCUs, we appreciate you all. And so I am passionate about helping families because, again, Suited for Success is not just a logo or a fancy name. It is a testament of my life. I am a first-generation college student. And for me, it's all about helping other families not feel like me and my mom and dad felt when it was time for me to go off to college. We had no idea of what mistakes we could be possibly making and what things we were doing correct. And so my ultimate goal is to make sure every student and family knows what move to make on the chessboard. And when they make that move, we want to make sure you can say checkmate, right? And so the ultimate goal is to get college to pay you to attend and not for you to pay college to attend. I am a parent of a college graduate. My daughter just graduated in May from Bowie State University, debt-free, high honors. And so I am a proud mom, as you can see, and she has already landed her first contract and first teaching job here in Prince George's County, following her mom's footsteps. I'm a former high school educator. I taught at Dr. Henry A. Wise, Frederick Douglass High School, Duke Ellington School of the Art, and a former professor at Trinity Washington University. But now I just hang the hat of just Suited for Success, and I help parents and students successfully walk through the college admissions process. We do college tours, we do workshops like you're on tonight, and we also work with families and students in small cohorts, as well as individualized college planning. So there are 5 things on the agenda tonight, all of them equal importance. And so let's dive in and discuss what those things are. Strategy number 1, we'll be talking about all things college applications and deadline, just the background of the college process. Strategy number 2, making sure your students have a competitive list, not just dream schools. Strategy number 3, of course, you want to know all about how to finance your child's education through scholarships and financial aid. Strategy number 4, college essays, making sure these students write a stellar essay. And strategy number 5, navigating the process alone, and why that is key, that you do not do this by yourself, but that you have support. First line of support is you being here tonight, showing up for you and your student. Kudos to each and every one of you. Strategy number 1, is getting started today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Do not keep putting off that I am going to start getting stuff done. We need to make sure you are getting it done today. And so the problem is you are still deciding on how many and what schools you should apply to for most students. But we are in September, actually September 9th, and applications opened on August 1st for about 95% of the colleges and universities. And so we want to make sure your student gets in alignment so they can start submitting those applications. All of our shining stars in our Suited for Success program, VIP program, some of them have already started submitting applications. It is not too early. So if that was a question, that's your answer. It is not too early. What your students need to be doing is making sure they're wrapping up their college research. We call it dive deep. That means you know the history of the school. You know the school has your major. You know if your major is in the top 3 majors at the school. You know if your school is merit friendly. You know if your school offers the environment that you're looking for, the culture that you're looking for, and also if it's in alignment with what you're looking for in a college. All of those things matter, right? And so completing your college research consists of all of those parameters. How far do you want to go? Here's what most students say. Ms. Robinson, I don't have no parameters. I will go anywhere, right? And then the parents are like, oh, no, 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 we need parameters. They can go maybe 3 hours, no more than 4 hours away, right? So huge difference in how we're thinking as a student and how you're thinking as a parent. And so the ultimate goal is to get on the same page. From college research, making sure you're looking at, again, the culture, the history, your major. Do they offer merit? Are they friendly and offer merit? Do they offer scholarships? All of those things should be a part of your research and your diving deep into a college, okay? So ask your student, if they're not present listening to this, have they done those parameters? Have they followed that type of dive deep? Also find out if your colleges are Common App or other. Remember I said August 1st, applications opened. That meant the Common App opened on August 1st. The Common App houses thousands of schools, and you get to go in, complete one application. However, there are subsections for every school you add into the Common App, and every application cost for that particular school. That's the Common App. Then you have what they call the HBCU Common App, which is over 30 plus schools for one price. The top 7 to 10 schools get all of your information and respond. You follow up with the additional schools that you are applying to make sure they don't need any additional information from you. Then you have the Coalition App. There are some colleges that don't use the Common App. They don't use the HBCU Common App. They only use the Coalition App. You complete the Coalition App just like any other application. And then last but not least, you have only some schools that only offer their application on their website only. And that means you need to create a login and password and fill out the application right there on that college's website. So now you see why doing your research and diving deep is important. There are so many variables to consider. Now, if you have not, everyone has been back to school for at least a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Have you already requested your recommendation letters and transcripts? That means you've given a written formal email to your teachers and counselors, and you've sent them not only a formal email request, but you've attached your academic resume, and you found out if they are connected directly to the Common App or if they use a third-party portal to connect your recommendations and your transcripts. Those are key. So if you've not connected with your guidance counselor, now is the time. Get with your guidance counselor and make sure everything is in alignment and that you have everything in order. Okay. Next, finalize your academic resume. Your resume is not your job resume. You need to highlight your school classes, courses, GPA, test scores, and honors and extracurricular activities in and outside of school. And so you can place both of those on there. You should list your courses 9th through 12th as a summary, not all individually. And so you're putting them 9th grade, 10th grade, 9th through 12th English, 9th through 12th science, 9th through 12th maybe math. You're doing it that way. And if you have taken dual enrollment, please make sure you add your dual enrollment on your academic resume as well. And you can also include your test scores in case you were wondering. Those are all things workshop, meaning getting ready for the college process and checking off admin things in the process. This is a college admissions timeline of things you could be doing by grade level. So grab a screenshot, 12th grade is your line item. If you're a class of 2027 and you're joining us tonight because you want to gain a head start, then you know the 11th grade line is your line, plus 12th grade line is going to be your line as well. So you want to start making sure you are checking off these checklist items. And these items, of course, will be spread out throughout tonight's presentation, but we wanted to give it to you as a snapshot as well. Strategy number 2. Competitive lists, not just dream schools. Your students are randomly picking schools with no strategy. Do research with purpose and create a competitive college list with a mix of, here's the mix, likely, target, and reach. Let me break them down. Likely means that you meet the requirements for test scores and GPA, but nothing is ever safe anymore because the college admissions process is competitive. So we say likely. That means it's likely that you're going to get accepted into that college. Target means your stats are closely matched. You match the school's average, but not quite there, maybe, and the test score is a little off, or your GPA is just a little under, but your test scores are over. That's when you can look at yourself as a target competitive range for that particular school. Then now you look at reach, which is sometimes where majority of our students land, which is not a good place to be. Your stats are kind of like, I really don't have this and I really don't have that, but I'm going to thank God in advance that maybe he might bless me and get me a yes to that school. But again, that's a lot of prayer and that's a lot of work. And so reach, I always tell students and families, I'm not a dream killer, but I'm a reality checker. Your list needs to be balanced. Number from 1 to 7. 6 and 7 could be reach schools. 1 through 3 should be likely. 4 and 5 could be target. That's what you call a balanced college list. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, wait a minute, how many schools should my students apply to? Well, the national average is about 7 schools, 5 to 7, 7 to 10. Parents, every school costs money, an application fee, anywhere from $25 to $150. That adds up when you start having 15 and 20 and 25 schools, and your student can only put 20 schools in the FAFSA. So here's what I tell students, and here's what the students in Student for Success go through. They get up to 7 schools, and then we allow them to say, don't go overboard, maybe 10 to 15 maximum is where you want to fall in your range of schools. But again, remember, in the end, you can only go to one college or one university. So when you start having all of these schools on your list, that means you've not done what we said, strategy number 1, dive deep and do your research. Because if you did, you wouldn't have so many schools, okay? So likely, target, and reach. Parents, make sure your students have a balanced list. Know your SAT and ACT scores. That's the only way you know if you're a likely, target, or a reach candidate. You already know your GPA because everyone has their cumulative GPA by now because you received your report card in the summer when you ended your junior year. Whatever that cumulative GPA is what the colleges will evaluate you on. Not senior year, that's only if they're going to say, we need more time to decide a yes or no for you, is that they will evaluate some of your senior year in a mid-year report. But right now, your academics go based off of your cumulative GPA at the end of your junior year and your SAT and ACT scores, okay? So know your scores. National average for ACT, 21 plus. The highest, 36. National average for SAT per section, 800. I'm sorry, the maximum 800 per section. National average, 550 per section. Now, am I saying those are going to get you scholarships? No. I'm giving you the national average number of where scholarships fall and where they align with what you have. Okay, so please keep that in mind and make sure your students are checking their scores. Make sure your students have already finalized their testing plan for this year. So whatever next tests are coming up, make sure they're scheduled and make sure they are ready to get in and sit for those particular test exams. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, what about test optional, right? Because those were some questions you submitted. Let me add in a plug about test optional. Test optional is still available for some schools, but here's where you must evaluate test optional. You have to decide, is test optional a good plan for you? Here is why. All schools, some schools that are test optional have a penalty with that. So meaning they are test optional. However, if you are test optional, some of them will say that you can't get the full merit availability. Well, I don't know about you parents. Sorry, my nose is bothering me. I don't know about you parents, but I would want full merit eligibility, right? And so if you go in test optional for some schools, that means you cannot get the full merit eligibility. Now, there are some schools that say you can apply test optional and you can get all the money that you want. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. So you need to be able to decide what it's going to be for you and how that's going to work for your family. Okay, so test optional is optional for you to decide what's the best plan. Understanding college admissions decision plans. Here are the 4 different plans that are offered. Early action, no binding agreement, but puts you in the pool to get acceptances early and get money. Early action is the perfect action plan. All of our students apply early action to their school if their schools offer it. If the school does not offer early action, then we go straight to regular decision and we still apply early and get our apps in early, but we're just selecting regular decision because it's even play, no penalties, no binding contracts, nothing attached to it, okay? Early admissions, you apply early with a binding commitment to attend if accepted, and you can only apply to one school ED. Now, here's what I always say, parents, our children change their mind with the wind. So unless you're a legacy of a legacy of a legacy of a legacy, I don't recommend early admissions and early decisions, okay? You need to only look at if your grandparents went, your parents went, your aunts went, your uncles went, everybody went, right? Then you might do early decision. But if you are accepted, no matter the financial plan, no matter the financial aid offer, you are binded to that school and you have to take all other applications off the table. You must attend that school. So parents, again, early action is just as a great opportunity. So I suggest you do early action. I want to just share a success story with you briefly about one of our shining stars, Evan Crawley, who now attends Morgan State University, second-year student, doing amazing, received over $220,000 in scholarships. Evan says, words cannot even express my sincere gratitude for Miss Regina's support and for holding our scholars accountable. True gem indeed. Let's go class of 2024. The sky is the limit. And the sky truly has been the limit for Evan. He's been doing amazing work at Morgan, just participating in so much, getting so many opportunities. Super proud of him. But here is some of the success that our students receive. Strategy number 3, scholarships and financial aid. Families underestimate the cost of college and assume they won't qualify for aid. The solution is start scholarship applications early and complete the FAFSA. Explore merit-based aid options. Now, what does that mean? There are several scholarships. Let's start with that first. Outside of, in your school, your colleges, and outside of your colleges. And so for most students, the difference between them attending the school that they really want and the school that they're forced to attend is whether they do scholarships. Now, the first form of scholarships and the first form of the way you pay for college is by merit aid. Merit aid is money from the college based on your students' academics and their test scores. And parents, here's the best part about it. They don't care how much money you make in income. I don't know about you, but that gets me excited. They do not care about how much money you make. They offer your students that because of the work that they've done in school. And so when you look at Evan's award letter and you see it's over $220,000, that's because we made sure his list was competitive and the schools on it were merit-based schools so that he can get the money. That is the top priority for our students in our program. How do we align with the schools that are merit aid friendly and generous? Okay. Then we move from merit aid and there's private scholarships. There's financial need based, which comes from the FAFSA. Then you have your senatorial, legislative, and delegate. And the majority of you in the beginning said you were from Maryland in the chat. We have more people now that might be from different states, but Maryland has senatorial, legislative, and delegate. And most states have that. Tap into those scholarships. Call now and start finding out when your deadlines are so that you can apply and get that money. Also, bank scholarships. Where you bank, do they offer scholarships? Ask. It doesn't hurt to ask. Stores that you shop at, food places that you shop at. Do you know Burger King, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A? Y'all all go to those places to eat and feed y'all kids and grandchildren. They offer scholarships. If you shop at Kohl's, Kohl's offers scholarships. If you shop at Foot Locker for shoes, they offer scholarships, just to name a few. And so we need to make sure our children are tapping in to these scholarships. Some of you are a part of sororities and fraternities, and some of you are not. Look into sororities and fraternities because they offer scholarships. The Divine Nine, check all of them to see who has scholarships. And then last but not least, your church. Does your church offer a scholarship? And if so, what's the requirement so you can already be in alignment to get those scholarships, okay? The money, the money, the money. We need it to offset college. Here are some scholarship resources, websites. Take a screenshot if you want to, and these take you to all different scholarship databases. Here at Suited for Success, we offer a scholarship membership. We send out scholarships every single month. We have over 50 plus scholarships on our list. We do the heavy lifting by going to all of these websites and databases to find them and put them in one place for you by month. But here's the deal. You have to open the email. You have to click the link. You have to see if you'll qualify. You have to fill out the application, and then you have to hit submit. But we do it for you, and literally the membership is $19.97 a month. You spend that in one visit to Starbucks. So imagine winning a scholarship of $500, $1,000, $5,000. You've gotten that $19.97 a month back in return on investment quadruplet times, okay? And so it is a worthy investment. Click the QR code, join the scholarship membership. Here's the deal. Again, the difference between you being able to send your child to school is applying to scholarships, or you are rich and you have money saved up and you can drop anywhere, because this is how much it's costing out of pocket for most families to attend college for their students. 10,000 to 50 plus thousand a year. Let me say it again. 10,000 to 50,000 plus dollars a year. Most of those students are students who never did any scholarships. Outside of thinking everything is attached to the FAFSA and everything is attached to merit aid. Those are support first, but you have to fill in the gap with private scholarships. And then parents, you should be the last option of funding your child's education through your savings or whatever. Because GoFundMe don't work. Because what happens when people stop funding you? You are now at a deficit. And taking money out of your retirement is definitely not a workaround, because you will not be able to build that back up by the time it's time for you to retire. And so parents, please create, here's a golden nugget that I give my VIP clients and that we do. Create a scholarship night in your house. When my daughter was preparing to go to college, I told you she went to college debt-free. And in fact, when she graduated, she had $18,000 in the bank that we got in refund checks that we put in an online account that it created interest over the 4 years. Parents, it's doable. We were both on laptops, both on our cell phones, applying for scholarships, because we knew that we did not want to pay for college. Heck, I knew I had the money to pay for college. And so I needed to make sure she positioned herself. Now, of course, she had the academics to go along with that, but you have to make sure you are challenging your students to create scholarships. There are 3 types of financial aid once you complete the FAFSA. We're not going to heavily go into this because I hope you are registered for my FAFSA Masterclass. That will be next Tuesday night, same time, same place, just a different link and a different registration that we'll be pushing out. But if you have not register, we'll have it at the end where you can click the link to register. But let me give you a quick synopsis of the FAFSA and what it entails. And we're going to go deeply into everything about the FAFSA and what it entails. There are 3 types of financial aid that comes from the FAFSA: grants, free money, but offered on the need basis; work study, also need-based first, and it's part-time employment on your student's campus that they qualify for if they go and apply, get accepted for a job, and then now they can do work study. And then loans, and they have different types of loans that you qualify for through the FAFSA. So make sure. Most parents will ask, should I complete the FAFSA? Yes, hands down. And here's why, and I will talk about this more next week in so much more detail. If you do not complete the FAFSA and the school has money to offer your student and it is aligned to a FAFSA student and your student is not a FAFSA student, but they qualify, they're not going to call you and say, Miss Miller, we have $10,000 for your daughter. They're not doing that. She misses out and they're moving to the next student on the list that has completed their FAFSA. So please, parents, let's get in alignment, get on that masterclass next week. Let's educate you about the FAFSA so you understand why it's so important for you to complete the FAFSA so you can make sure you can get everything you need out of this college process, okay? Strategy number 4, college essay. Now, most of your students are daunting this. They are screaming, they are pulling their hair out. The boys are scratching their head. The problem is they are saving their college essay until until the last, it should say you are saving your college essay until the last thing you complete. No, do not do that. The solution is start today. Write an essay that is authentic, compelling, and reflect your unique story. Do not wait until the last minute to complete your essay, please. Because this is not like you writing an English paper that you might get an A on, and that's because your teacher was only looking at the rubric, and so they went ahead and passed you. No, these colleges will be reading your essay, and these are the key components that they are searching for. Your sentence flow is smooth. You review your content. You've read your essay over multiple times. You've had multiple drafts, so you know it's good. You make sure it makes sense. You connect your thoughts and ideas. You read your essay out loud to yourself. Do not read with yourself without saying it out loud like you verbally hear me talking. You need to read out loud so that you can listen for errors. And you check for grammar and spelling mistakes. Now, most of you are going to say, well, what should I include? Sorry, I hit the wrong button. What should I include in my essay? Or how do I start? Or what type of essay do I write? Here it is. I'm going to give you exactly what my VIP Shining Stars do. They get the Common App questions. They choose a question that resonates with them the most, and they begin telling a story about themselves or about an event or an experience, and they write. Now they write that essay like they write their school with the whole 5 paragraphs. But in their intro, I mean, when I tell y'all I'm getting ready to give y'all the golden outline, in their intro, I always tell them you start with fireworks. Your conclusion is the bang. You start with fireworks. That means you hook the reader because you want them to continue reading so they can finish in the story to see what it is that happened. You keep them on the edge of their seat for the entire story. And then you end to close it showing how you evolved, how you've grown, how you've built up to where you are, depending on what your story is, right? But here's a key component. It is your story, and it has to be unique to you. It has to be something that resonates with you, and it should build. And so here's what I tell students all the time. But here's what I'll tell you parents, because remember, I was a parent. Be graceful when you're helping. If you're the person helping your child review their essay, be graceful. Don't force them to put what you want them to put here, there, give your feedback and allow them to take what works for them, right? If they're waiting on their English teacher and if their English teacher is willing to do it for them, great, right? If you need support, we have that service to help your students write that stellar essay. Our students have won scholarships from colleges, from their colleges for their essays. All of our Student for Success Shining Stars in our class of 2026 cohort is done with their college essay. They've already copied and pasted it in the Common App. We're not still working on college essays, but I'm not discounting you if you're still working. We're here to support you get from working to finish. But this is what you can do. Pull the Common App questions. I gave you to tell you to start with the hook, end with the bang, tell a compelling story, be authentic, be your unique self, color outside the lines, be creative, but make sure you are focused when you are writing your essay and you are not waiting until the last minute to complete your college essay. That is important. That is key. One more success story of one of our former shining stars, Adriana, my boo. I call her my boo. She like my child. She thinks she my child, right? I think she my child too. So she attends North Carolina A&T Aggie Pride. So if we have any future Aggies, let me know. I can connect you to Adriana. She's doing amazing. I have several Aggies, but just highlighting Adriana today. Or if you want to be a future Bear at Morgan, let me know. I can connect you to Evan as well. Adriana received over $170,000 in scholarships. She's a nursing major at North Carolina A&T. First year finished with over a 3.9 cumulative GPA from her first year of college. So her mom says, my daughter was ahead of most of her classmates. She graduated from Elizabeth Seton High School as it pertains to the college application process. Ms. Robinson is very passionate about her work and relationship with the students. So Adriana is now back at A&T doing amazing. And so if you're a future prospective Aggie, again, A&T is an amazing school. They're one of the schools we visit every year on our spring break HBCU college tour. And so I have nothing but good things to say about North Carolina A&T State University. Strategy number 5, navigating the process alone. Families often underestimate how complex the process can be and struggle without guidance. Here's what I know, parents. The college process is not like it was when you were applying to college. First of all, they don't even have paper applications anymore because that's what they had when I was going to college. Everything is online. Everything has changed and everything has shifted even this year with the process and how they're doing things because of all the changes in our government. And so there are a lot of moving pieces this year with how financial aid is going to be allocated and how things are going to move when it comes to allocating money. So those are things that are just so important, and how to make sure these students are standing out in a pool of competitiveness. I always say, give the example of imagine being in Times Square on New Year's Eve and everyone has on black except for you because you should be there in red. That's what we help students do at Student for Success who are in our Shining Stars program. We make sure that they stand out in the crowd. We make sure that their application is competitive. We make sure that they have what it takes to maximize their opportunity. We make sure they're organized. We make sure they meet deadlines, and we make sure they maximize all opportunities available to them. Why? It's important for them. Because without that, that means now they're competing against everyone, and they think that all they have to do is just put their application in and hit submit. That is not all you have to do. You need to make sure your application stands out when you hit submit. So let's take a poll. You guys know I told you I'm new to this, right? So we're going to see if we can get this poll thing right again. So I did the poll earlier. So now that we have talked through the different 4 categories, here's my poll. I want to get, after what you've learned, how confident do you feel about completing the college admissions process? Now that you know about the research part, the applications part, the essays part, your financial aid and scholarship part, how confident do you feel? Do you feel somewhat confident, very confident, not confident, need support? Where do you fall within that range? So that we know we at least have given you everything you needed, at least on this. So we know we let you go off feeling at least confident or feeling somewhat confident. And if you need support, we're here to support you. Okay, so we got that. Everyone has voted. It says everyone has voted. So let's say in poll. All right, so I'm excited to say majority of the people, 67% feels confident. I'm excited about that. Only 33% feels somewhat confident. Now, I wanted to make sure you didn't just take it from me, but that you had an opportunity to hear from one of our Student for Success Shining Star parents, who is in the thick of things right now, and is experiencing what they are going through as a Student for Success parent. And so I wanted to bring Ms. Mickens here this evening to share with you, because she's a parent who has already started going through this process midway through. And so, Ms. Mickens, you can come off mute now.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. I wanted to just come in and just attest to everything Miss Robinson has said. My son right now is a 2026 Shining Star, and he's on point to um submit for early action right now. Miss Robinson has helped him with his resume. He needed a lot of work on it. She's helped him with that, helped him get his resume together. She's also helped him helped him with his um sorry, his offer, his letters, his
His
oh
recommendation letters,
recommendation
essay,
letters. I'm
yes.
sorry.
Oh, that's okay. In his
I'm sorry.
essay, yeah.
His recommendation letters to get to get the emails prepared for him to send out for those. He's helped them for everything. And like she said, they are working on the Common App right now. And there are some questions that I would have put differently, but listening to Miss Robinson, her the way she wants them to answer, I can see why she does, and he will definitely get good responses from that. I can say her program is well worth the investment. It is this process is really overwhelming. Me and my husband, we're both busy. Miss Robinson stays on my son because he needs it, to make sure he's meeting deadlines, and she is really on them to make sure everything is done correctly, and done at the right time.
And
Um
one of the things, Miss Mickens, talk about how Warren, so here's what's the important thing about my Shining Stars. I say they're my family from day one. They're
yeah.
not just students, they're not
Hmm.
clients, they're my family.
Hmm.
And so Warren
Hmm.
had the opportunity to attend a 2-day STEM program with me because I was
Yes.
hosting the workshop. And so, of
Yeah.
course, we got to talk, got to network, got to collaborate because it's a long ride to to the place, an hour. So he
Hmm.
was with me the whole time. And
Yeah.
so I don't just have the students apply to the schools that they want to apply to. I recommend schools because I believe
Yes.
97% of my students who go through and who have gone through my program often come with their list of schools, and then I suggest schools. Probably over 75% of them go to the school I suggest.
Yeah, because actually the school that you suggested after we did the tour, it became his number one pick.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's because a lot of times, like I said in the beginning, that dive deep in that research, kids are looking at schools that are popular, schools that they've heard in the hallway from the previous
Hmm.
graduation year, or their
Yeah.
families go to, or their cousins go to, or it's the most talked about popular school. They're not looking at the schools for what it can offer them long-term investment, their major, merit aid. Those things are the important facets of making sure you make the decision and what schools go on your list, right? And then creating that balanced list of likely target and reach schools. Sometimes
Mhm.
kids might have the essay part down pat. See, well, with Warren, he's getting everything, but there are some kids who might have the essay down pat and they don't know if their list is competitive. So we have those opportunities, we have those options as well. But any other things you want to share, Ms. Mickens, as a parent for your side of it? We know for Warren's side, but as a parent, how is it for you with, I know a lot of times most parents feel overwhelmed or feel like they don't know the
Mhm.
next steps, or they feel like you said, they have a life and this program is designed to help the kids become self-advocates.
Yeah, as a parent, I didn't know I was missing steps, and you made sure we were going step by step by step, and that nothing was missed, and we have meetings so you can tell us where we are, where my son is, where he needs to be, if he's falling behind, and you'll get him back on track. So as a parent, I was really overwhelmed until we signed up. Because now, I'm at ease now, me and my husband both, knowing that he is set for early action to apply.
Yes. And so I'm a strong advocate of challenging, and I'm sure Warren probably told his mom.
Yes.
I send them these messages and say, I just want to challenge you. I want to see if you can get now. They all have until, so here's what you guys are about to, again, get VIP information. And so all of my kids submit their applications by November 15th. They do not submit apps after that date. Why? The earlier you submit, the better chances you are. And
Mhm.
so I send challenges to some of the students to say, can you finish by? So Warren has a challenge to say, he has his 7 schools. I'm like, I'll challenge you to get at least 4 of them done by September 15th. And so he's on track to get at least 4 of them done by September
Mhm.
15th. And
Oh
now, of
yeah.
course, November 15th is like the deadline they have. But if I can get them to finish before the end of September, they'll half of the kids in their school will just be starting and they'll
Yep.
be done. And so it gives them that opportunity to now go on with extracurricular activities, with life, with fun,
Mhm.
back on their social media platforms because they have to come off so they can work. And so that gives them the opportunity to be ahead of the game. And one of the benefits of most of our students is that they say, Miss Robinson, I know you was pressuring us to be done by a certain date, but thank you because I feel so bad for my peers because most of
Mhm.
them are just getting started and I don't they be afraid to say to their peers because they don't want to make their peers feel some kind of way. I'm already
Mhm.
done with all of my schools, like wow. And so they a
Yeah.
lot of times pitch in and try and help their peers. One of the things the parents always say, and Miss Mickens can attest to whether this was her feeling, and she can't say it yet, but most of the parents who invest in any part of our program, whether it's our a la carte program, whether it's our full VIP program, or whether it's just our 60-minute session to get them a roadmap, one acceptance letter, they've made back their investment 3 to 10 times with one
Mhm.
acceptance letter with merit aid because most of our students get at least, just at least, one acceptance letter with over $50,000 with one acceptance letter to their colleges. And so that has made back their investment over 7, 8 times. And so that is one of the benefits of our families. And of course, Ms. Mickens can't say that yet because her kid hasn't hit the button for any schools yet. But she definitely will be saying that when she come back in
Yes.
spring for other master classes. But those are one of
Yes.
the benefits for our families being able to share. So Ms. Mickens, any last final words for any of the families? And then any parents that are live who have a question for Ms. Mickens, because she is a parent like you are, by all means, you can come off of mute, ask the question briefly before Ms. Mickens jumps off. You can ask her any questions you might have as well. But Ms. Mickens, any final words for any of the parents who are like, I think I can do this by myself, or I'm not really sure, or I'm on the fence of whether I need her. Any final words that you might have. And I promise you, I don't pay my parents to say anything that
Nope.
they say. This is from their heart. This is their thing. This is their experience.
Yes. I urge you to please, please, please use this service. Is well worth the investment. Because I didn't really have the time to put in it to make sure my son got everything, and that's what Ms. Robinson is doing. She is making sure everything is done, nothing is missed. So, do we have any questions?
Yes, so any parents have any questions for Miss Mickens before she jump off? We're always transparent, so we don't hide
Mhm.
anything, we're open books. All right, so no questions for Miss Mickens. Miss Mickens, thank you so much for jumping in. I always
You're
want parents to
welcome.
hear from a parent who's right in the thick of things, right with them,
Yep.
so that they don't think they're alone in this as well, right? And so they believe that there are other people who are in that same support system and in that same space as them. So thank you, Miss Mickens. All
You're
right, so
welcome.
to
Thank you.
everyone still live with us, I have a question for you. Chat in the chat. I'm gonna look for your response in the chat. If you give me permission to share with you and you want to know information about our 3 different programs and how it can support you, put an emoji in the chat and I will go ahead and share with you all about our programs and what we have to offer in case it's something, or if you feel you are in need of any parts of, not all or maybe some, we will go over. I'm going to go over with you what our different programs entail. So drop an emoji in the chat if you can, saying, okay, yes, Ms. Robinson, we want to know. Don't leave us hanging. Give us some form of information. We are going to be able to share that information with you. You heard about Ms. Mickens giving you overview, and I'm just going to give you synopsis. You can see it here on our screen. We have level 1, level 2, level 3. You have families who just do our 60-minute roadmap session. And then you have parents which is just you saying, I just need to make sure we are on the right track, that we are in alignment and that we got all our ducks in a row. I know we got a somewhat map. I'm just not sure if our map is 100% going to get us a return on investment, for meaning we're going to get yeses. We're going to get into our top 3 choice schools. 97% of our students get into their top 3 choice schools. 100% of our students go off and get accepted to college because they go to 4-year or 2-year universities. We also have our a la carte services where you might say, I don't need everything. My kid is great. They know the essay. I need to know if they have a well-balanced list because I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't know if they had likely target or reach schools. They just have a list, right? If they just have a list, that's not good. I'm going to put that out there now because 9 times out of 10, that list will yield a lot of no's, a lot of deferments, and a lot of wait lists because they're not well-balanced schools, or they're not going to yield money, and you're going to be in that 10,000 to 50,000 out of pocket per year. And my goal is to make sure families are not in that price bracket. Or you might say, you know what? I need to just make sure my students' Common App is going to stand out when they hit submit for whatever college they're going to hit submit for under their Common App. I need to make sure they have everything completed, all T's, I's, all dots, all T's crossed, all I's dotted on their Common App. Or we just know we're struggling, don't have the essay down pat, and we need help with this essay thing because we just don't have it. And you can do that. So we have our a la carte services for essay, college list, or Common App. We have our full VIP program, which is the one Ms. Miller talked about. And our VIP program, we help with everything, making sure we talk to them about researching, building out their list, helping them recommend schools to go on their list, talking to them. They get the full list of scholarships every single month. They can send their essay to me for scholarships. I send it back, let them know whether it's ready to submit that scholarship application. We give them step-by-step guidance to success in navigating the college process. Your student deserves a game plan and you deserve peace of mind. If my goal for you tonight is to book a free discovery call. It costs you nothing for you to say, I really don't know whether I need 1, 2, or 3. Get on a call with me. We can discuss where you are and what 1, 2, or 3 looks like for you. And so you can scan the QR code. My assistant will drop in the chat the code to the book your discovery call. And we'll also put in the chat for you to be able to see more details about the 60-minute call, the a la carte call, the a la carte and the VIP program. So you come armed on your discovery call, understanding the different ones. So we'll drop those links inside the feed. And so that way you have them just in case you're on your phone and you can't scan them, okay? So those links will come in as we're going through, but let's now, any questions about any of these programs or any levels or anything around the programs? Any questions? And then we're going to move on, finish the rest of the material, and then we will open up for Q&A, overall Q&A, but any questions right now about anything around the program? Okay, so let's move to, now that you've had an opportunity to go through tonight's masterclass, we would love, love, love if you would complete a survey. It is 5 questions, I think, less than 2 minutes. If you could just take time to complete the survey, we'll leave the link here. Scan the QR code. We'll drop the QR code inside the chat. Inside of the chat in the chat. Oh, so my assistant said the links are in the chat. Awesome. So now, Aubrey, if you would just drop the link for the survey directly for them to be able to click it from the actual link in case they're on their phone and they can't click the survey from there. And so if you would take time to complete the survey, we're going to open it up for Q&A. So while we have the survey link present, please come off mute, ask any questions you might have. We want to make sure you don't leave this masterclass with any questions not answered. And so please, again, 5 seconds of your time while you're here live. This live was free of all this information. If you would just please complete the survey, it helps us to have feedback and it helps us to share with other families why they should join a masterclass like this as well. But any college questions about anything I covered, anything I didn't cover that you might have as a question, please unmute yourself and ask any questions that you have. The floor is now open. You can also put your questions in the chat too. I'll go there to see if there are any questions in the chat. But you can come off mute. That way it's more personal and you don't have to put it in the chat. Any questions? I know we didn't go, I know I usually do a thorough presentation, but I know you have some questions, right? Like I can't imagine you guys don't have any questions. So any question, I always say no question is a dumb question. So please, any question that you might have, come off mute and I will answer any question that you have. And also the survey link is inside the feed. If you haven't had a chance to complete the survey link, that's inside the feed as well in the chat. But come off of mute, ask any questions. In the meantime, I'm waiting for someone to jump off mute. I'm going to answer some of the questions that were submitted that I didn't maybe cover. It might not have been your question, but I'm going to go through. So if you had a question and you submitted it, I'm going to answer now. Someone asked, how does dual enrollment affect your college application and admissions? It doesn't affect it. It could be supportive, but it does not affect your application. And so dual enrollment is great. Not all schools accept at the same level of dual enrollment, so it depends on each school. Someone asked disadvantages to not submitting your test scores. We talked about that, making sure the school is not a penalty school. Someone asked, how can I waive college applications? By visiting, by going to some of their virtual sessions and asking if they have fee waivers. And if you're a free and reduced lunch student, you automatically get fee waivers. You have to see your guidance counselor to obtain them. Someone asked, I just submitted taxes. Will that delay my child from being able to complete the FAFSA? Yes, you have to have your taxes in order to complete the FAFSA. I'm going through all the questions. Someone asked about strategies for art students. Art students is a plethora of either or. There are conservatories and there are regular colleges and universities that offer arts programs as well. So you don't have to just do conservatory. You can do regular colleges or universities that offer art programs. A lot of schools that offer arts programs require portfolios depending on what major, or auditions depending on what majors. So you have to do your research on each one. DC Tag program. Oh, and that person's here. So DC Tag. So DC Tag is also an application that you must complete. Every DC school is supposed to have a rep in their school or a rep that comes to their school. And so you definitely want to talk to your school to find out who their rep is. What that means is TAG usually says between in-state and out-of-state, there's a difference. Most people run around saying you get $10,000. It's up to $10,000 in participating schools. And so that is the key difference that most people do not specify when they talk about DC Tag. So definitely talk to your school to find out about the DC Tag rep inside of your high school because you want to get to know them. My son is a student athlete. What is your suggestion besides having his coaches reach out to schools? What can we do? Don't wait on the coaches. You need to be reaching out to the schools. So I wouldn't wait on my coaches to reach out for me. If you're considering, if you are considering being playing sports, right? Here's the deal, Division I have already pretty much recruited. So if you've not been recruited by Division I, I don't know that you will get recruited to a Division I school. It's late. But Division II or III, you might want to look into that. And so when you're looking into that, you're reaching out to the coaches, you're sending them sports videos, you're sending them your athletic resume, you are sending them highlight reels, you are asking if they're having any visit days where you can come and meet with the coaches. Do not wait for your school's coaches to shop you. You will not get shopped if you do. You know how many kids are on the basketball team. You know how many kids are on the track team. So can you imagine a coach having to call all of these colleges for all of those kids? That's not how it works. So please make sure you are shopping yourself as well. Do not sit on the sideline and wait or your kid will miss out. Any benefits for children of 100% disabled vets? They should be looking up scholarships and Googling scholarships using the child of a disabled vet, veterans or military. They should be looking for some of those scholarships for sure so that they can tag into that. Now, whether you have benefits for your children to be able to attend college under some of your benefit programs and your money from there, look into that too as a disabled vet. Find out if there's any benefits you have left that you can utilize for your children as well. Because that could be a possibility. And if so, you want to not miss out on that possibility for sure. Sometimes they have it where parents can transfer their money over to their students because they're not going to use their money. Now, again, I'm not expert at any of that. I just have heard people talk about that. Any other questions? Remember, no question is a dumb question. Drop all your questions in the chat. We still have a little bit of time. Drop any questions, come off mute, answer any questions. And please, while we're doing the questions, be sure to Be sure to complete the survey while we're doing that as well. And any other questions? I'm watching to see if any other questions are being dropped. I think I answered all of the ones that were in the original push through. It says common mistakes strong applicants make that can hurt their chances at selective schools. Submitting their applications without reviewing them, making sure that their applications are actually completed in its entirety, making sure their applications are thoroughly completed, like activities or well-written sections, uploading when you're supposed to upload, answering all questions, making sure that you are putting concrete explanations for questions that are in the apps. Those are the things that make students not stand out in the selection of completing their applications. They're just going in, putting all the answers in the Common App, and they're hitting submit. 9 times out of 10, they're missing something, or they're not read something and they're just submitting it, right? So those are things that are areas that the students need to be 100% mindful of when they are submitting their applications and they're trying to stand out in a sea of so many other people. Okay, so that's something that is definitely a thing for them to look for. You're welcome, Ms. Freeman. Yes, thank you so much as well. Any other questions? Any other questions? I'm going to move it off the survey link because the survey link is in the feed, and I'm going to put it on our link so that if you're not, oh, here's the link for the FAFSA Masterclass. If you're not registered for the FAFSA Masterclass on the 16th, go ahead and register for that. I'll have my assistant drop that link in the feed as well. And so if you're not on our schedule for next week or next Tuesday for the 16th, please jump in on that FAFSA Masterclass. You do not want to make a mistake. I'm not even going to go into all the mistakes you can make on that until next week. But please make sure you're registered for that as well. Excuse me, you're on our email list. We will start to send out emails, invites for that. We have a maximum. So my Zoom meeting only holds, I think, 100 people. We already have 43 people registered, and we have not even opened registration completely yet for this masterclass. So please scan that, click the link, make sure you jump into getting into the FAFSA Masterclass as well. And so we're going to drop, Aubrey, if you would drop that link in there as well. That way, in case they can't scan the QR code. Also, if you're not connected, I done hit something. Also, okay. Also, if you're not connected with us on social media, we share college-bound information, videos, links, the whole nine on our social media every day, all day. And so like us on Facebook, Instagram. That's where we share stuff. So you're already subscribed to our newsletter. And these are all the links to all of our, so if you screenshot this, you have links to everything we offer. And please, again, if you've not taken time to complete the survey, click the link in the feed, grab the survey. That's all we ask. We host these for free for the masterclass. All we ask is that parents take a few minutes, answer the 5 questions, their basic 5 questions, and give that back as your yes to us taking an hour to spend with you to educate and give you wisdom and knowledge around the college process. So if you'll take time to just complete that survey, and if any final questions that you might have, I will stay along for another minute or two to see if you have any final questions. I am here to answer any questions that you have. Do we have any final questions? What I would like for you to, at least if you would drop in the chat, if you felt like this was informative, if you felt like you got information, something you did not know before you popped in, you learned something new, you gained valuable information. If you would drop an emoji of celebration in the chat, at least I know that I showed up and did my part to give you everything you need, whether it's a thank you emoji, whatever the case might be. Thank you for jumping on tonight's masterclass. And again, listen, you are connected. You're on our newsletter. Even if we don't, if you take advantage of the free discovery call. I promise you that is a return on your investment of time, because something you will get that you didn't already know. And if we can support you in any way under any of our programs, we are here to support you. We are here to make sure you have everything you need. And so we want to make sure you get this right. What hurts my heart the most is parents will get on these master classes. They'll say, Ms. Robinson, I got this. I'm going to do this. And then in April and May, or it's time to go off to school, they're calling me saying, we're in a deficit of $10,000 or $15,000. Ms. Robinson, what can we do? It hurts my heart to tell them it's nothing you can do. You're either going to come up with the $10,000 or $15,000, or you're going to send your kid to community college, which is not a bad thing at all. But that will be your option, because if they had support, that $10,000 or $15,000 out-of-pocket school or more wouldn't have been on their list, because I would have said, this school is going to cost you this much out of pocket. Do you have that money saved in the bank? If not, this is not the school to go on their list. They need to pick a more merit-friendly school so that they can be able to go, and you're not forced to push them somewhere they don't want to go. And so it always hurts me to be able to say that, but again, it's nothing I can do at that point, because they would have not used or had support or had that roadmap or any of our sessions, and they're just winging it on their own. And so please, parents, don't wing this thing on your own. Get some form of support, whether it's me or whoever you choose. But if you are thinking that your student's guidance counselor are helping them at school, they are not. Not because they don't want to, but because they have over 300 plus students to help against your one. And so there is no way they can sit down with every individual student and give them all individual support. And so we're here to make sure they have that support. Our cohorts are categorized and are not overmaxed. And our a la cartes, we don't overmax. And our 60-minute sessions, of course, we don't overmax those with a bunch of students. So those are our opportunities to be able to support you and give you whatever guidance that you need. So any final questions before we jump off? We are connected. We are family. You're on our newsletter. And so we will continue to share. Our newsletters come out quarterly. Read them. We give you action items by quarter. Follow them. Make sure your students are using them as checklist items to make sure they are on track in this college process. Any final questions? Any final comments? Doesn't have to be a
Well,
question.
I have a question.
Yes, Ms. Green.
I do have a question. I wanted to know if you, for someone who has one kid who has scholarships, but it didn't cover everything, and now my next son is coming out. I just want to know if you know of any scholarships that are like last dollar scholarships, so I can get the first one just out of college before I start, as I begin to work on the one who's getting ready to go into college.
Okay, so let me make sure I heard your question, because you were breaking up. You were going in and out. So you're saying you have a student who's about to graduate from college. So, but they're getting ready, they're in this 2025, 2026 academic year at their college, and you're looking for more money.
Yes.
So here's what I would say. So that student needs to go to the financial aid office, right? And find out if there's any extra money. Somebody didn't come to that school. Somebody already done dropped out of that school. Whatever the case might be, there's often some lingering money. And so, but if students never go and voice their hardship of money need, they're never going to come find you about they're not going to come find you to discover you have a hardship. So have them go to meet with their financial aid advisor and express what their deficit is and know their number. So if it's $2,000, know their number. And so don't just go saying, oh, I need money. No, how much do you need to be able to stay, right? Like, I'm on the verge of, I'm here, but we are struggling to keep me here. whatever the dynamics, that maybe any financial changes in the family, if any, and this is what we need, right? Like, is there any additional money that you might have? And they ask. Here's the deal, they can only say no, but what if they say yes? You would have never known because you didn't ask. So the goal is to ask, and then they need to keep looking for scholarships as college students to see if there's any scholarships that might help that will come in for the spring. And so now they might not have got that money for the fall, but maybe, just maybe, it could be a scholarship for the spring. That would help in the spring.
Yes, indeed it would.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then your student that you have now, they need to be 100% on top of looking for scholarships, because you already know what it looks like and what the dynamics entails when it comes to having money, or having a bill or having a balance. And so that will be no different for the other child if they are not looking at scholarships now, trying to get as many applied to as possible. The average student should be doing in scholarships is 15 a week. If possible, 15 a week. And that's doable. If you guys are doing it together, that's more than doable. And so parents always say the application process and the college process is your students, but not when it comes to scholarships. It's yours and your students. Because if they don't get enough merit aid and you don't have enough saved in the bank, who money got to come? Where the money coming from? You. And so why not want somebody else's money as opposed to your savings account? I would not want my savings account to be spent. I want to get some free money from someone else. And so scholarships are now more competitive than ever with the scarcity of all the changes in the government. So get out there and start completing as many scholarships as possible. We dropped our scholarship membership link in the chat, $19.97 a month. That should be a no-brainer. If your kid has not already started winning scholarships or applying to scholarships, every family should be enrolling in that $19.97 scholarship, because you don't have to do the work, which is why most of you aren't doing any scholarships, because you don't know where to find them and you don't have the time to look. Well, we did that for you, and it's only costing you $19.97 a month. That'll be the difference between you paying 10 or 15,000 out of pocket as opposed to maybe 5 out of pocket because your child won some scholarships. Do the math and you see how the return on investment is. Any other questions? That was a good question, Ms. Green, because a lot of students have balances and they need to figure out, but most people forget to go and ask. Ask, ask, ask. It's a must. A lot of our families, we always ask. I always have my students, when they get their award letters, and if there's a balance, to go and ask, because all they can do is say no, but they could say yes. And we have had some of our families get 7, 10, 15, 12,000 more in aid because they asked. So keep in mind, they are not going to just offer it to you, but you can ask and see if they have it available. Let me make sure I didn't miss any final comments or questions in the chat. I believe I got them all. If you haven't taken time, please, again, one more final ask. If you will please take time to do the survey. We would appreciate it. We would love on you for that, for completing the survey. We will send out this masterclass recording link. It will come out tomorrow. All of the links will also be in there for you to be able to book the free discovery call if you want to cash in on that. But again, go through the chat, open up all the links on your computer. You'll already have all those links. Schedule your discovery call. Meet so that you can decide what support you need or don't need, so that we can be there to be a bridge for you, a support system for you, so that you can make sure your student can get through this college process successfully and not haphazardly, because that's what a lot of families do. And so thank you again for attending tonight's masterclass. We appreciate you. Thank you again for all your comments in the chat, your love in the chat. And again, if you'll take time to complete the survey throughout this evening, we would greatly appreciate it. Have an amazing, amazing rest of your evening. We hope to see you next week on the FAFSA Masterclass. But until then, good luck. If we never chat again like this or get on the discovery call or whatever the case may be, good luck in making sure your student successfully win the game of college admissions and navigate through it successfully. And wherever they pick or wherever they decide, make sure they have a well-balanced college list. Make sure they complete their Common App successfully or their college applications wherever they're housed at successfully. And please make sure they write a compelling essay. For some, that will be their yes or no into a college because of their essay. So make sure they make it a great essay so that they can get a yes or a great no. We want all yeses out of their colleges. And so make sure they do that successfully. And again, thank you so much for joining us. Have an amazing evening on purpose. Thank you.